Alors, ce sont des femmes qui s'engagent pour les femmes. Il y en a eu plein depuis ce matin qui se sont engagées pour les femmes. Mais il y a aussi des hommes qui s'engagent pour les femmes. C'était une perche que j'ai tendue à la ministre, et d'ailleurs, elle ne l'a pas récupérée, cette perche, sur qu'est-ce qu'on fait des mecs qui s'engagent pour les femmes. Il y en a un qui s'engage vraiment pour les femmes, qui s'appelle Justin Reeves. Je disais ce matin en introduction que je souhaitais vous présenter des speakers internationaux qui s'expriment en anglais, parce qu'on dit de notre génération que c'est la première génération mondiale. On parle de nous comme étant des Millennials. Et donc cette génération globale se doit d'avoir des intervenants qui sont globaux également. Alors Justin Reeves, c'est un journaliste, un réalisateur new-yorkais. C'est un jeune homme plutôt mignon, qui n'avait pas besoin de s'engager pour les femmes, parce qu'il n'en est pas, et parce que ça ne le concernait pas vraiment. Et qui pourtant, parce que nous sommes une génération très engagée, et parce qu'il se sent profondément féministe, a contribué à la création d'un documentaire fantastique qui s'appelle Girl Rising, dont vous allez voir un petit teaser dans une seconde. Un documentaire qu'il diffuse aujourd'hui dans les pays asiatiques et africains pour essayer d'éveiller un peu les consciences sur l'importance de l'éducation comme clé de liberté pour les petites filles, évidemment, mais pour les femmes et donc pour l'humanité au sens large. Donc merci de l'accueillir, mais avant vos applaudissements quand il arrivera sur scène, on va vous passer le teaser de Girl Rising.
Tonight, one of the bravest girls in the world.
Malala Yousafzai became renowned for demanding girls be given the right to education.
Shot in the head on her school bus.
She was a student who wanted to learn, but now she's fighting to live.
Come on, skinny love, just last the year. Poor little soul, we were never here.
I was 11 years old when my father arranged for me to be married.
Staring at the sink of
تروح المدرسة؟
لا.
I had heard about the thousands of girls sold to men in those places. I can't really talk about everything that happened to me here, but I will never forget. We have come to this house, the house of her master, to say, you must set her free.
Regrets collect like old friends, here to relive your darkest moments. I can see no way, I can see no way. And all of the ghouls come out to play.
There is no miracle here, just a girl with dreams.
I will read, I will study, I will learn. If you try to stop me, I will just try harder. If you stop me, there will be other girls who rise up and take my place. I am change.
I am my own master now. I feel as though I have power.
Now there's nothing to stop me.
I feel I can do anything.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So I'm Justin, well known now as a man advocate for women, a feminist, he for she, a lot of different names, and I'm proud of it. You know, I realized in the process of making this film that as a millennial man that there's one thing I can do that I know, I can guarantee everybody in this audience that will change the world. I hope that everyone will share this message, especially the men in the crowd, and do something to make a better future. So remember when you thought you could change the world? I guarantee you, you can. So Girl Rising is a project that I've dedicated the past 5 years of my life to. I've been extremely changed by this project. It's had an extreme impact on my life. I've had the opportunity to travel around the world and meet students and teachers at the top of a glacier in Peru at 3,850 meters. I've met girls and traveled with them across the Afar region of Ethiopia who are in nomadic schools, travel with their herds. I've learned from girls during the Arab Spring in Cairo and Fayoum, Egypt, street girls and girls in the classroom. I've learned about the dreams of kids in Kampala, Uganda, and in India. And throughout this whole process, I've met with NGOs, corporations, governments in all of these countries trying to make a better world, trying to figure out the solution to ending poverty in the countries, and basically have come to one conclusion. The only way the world will lift itself out of the disparities, poverty, hunger, and disease is by educating girls. And it first starts by educating men. So Girl Rising. Girl Rising was released last year. You can find it on iTunes. We felt like it did a pretty good job of creating impact around the world for girls. We have this map up here that shows, over $2.1 million in donations went back to girls' programs. It's been seen over 2 million times in 50 different countries. It's subtitled into 40 different languages. Third highest grossing documentary. All of that stuff is great, and we're extremely proud and surprised that the film did as well as it did. But recently there was a study that was released on how people who interacted with the film's behaviors and attitudes were changed as a result of seeing it. Participant Media did a study. They're a company in the United States that measures social impact on movies. And Girl Rising scored a 96 last year, which was the highest film of any of the films, documentary or fiction, surveyed. So what does that mean? It means that people that watched Girl Rising were moved. They were changed and they were inspired to do something about it. One really interesting piece that we pulled out of this was that the millennial generation in particular showed trends in social impact that were different from the rest of the group. And so we found these trends to be extremely useful in sort of determining what the future of film to create social impact could be. 65% of the millennials that watched Girl Rising said that this film changed their life. So a couple of the trends that we saw for social impact. Number one, this is probably not surprising, but the days of the silver screen movie theaters, TV are done. 1 in 4 people watched Girl Rising digitally via streaming service. Human rights became the most important issue to all the millennials surveyed, with 76% of them saying it's the most important issue of their time. Millennials want to act. They're more likely than the overall audience to take an action after being inspired by a piece of video content. Almost half of the millennials that watched Girl Rising did something as a result of it. And I think most importantly, millennials want to share. We're strong seekers and sharers of information. And 1 in 4 millennials that watched Girl Rising shared something about the film. They taught somebody else via social media, phone calls, or interpersonal communications. So what does this mean for all of you? It means that millennials are the philanthropists of our time. It means that we can change the world. Now, I used to have a misconception about what philanthropy actually meant. I thought it meant giving money, donating dollars, companies, donating to a good humanitarian cause. But philanthropy actually means the love of humanity, in the sense of caring for, nourishing, developing, and enhancing what it is to be human on both benefactors. So I truly believe that millennial philanthropists can change the world. I don't have to tell you that between all of this, the research shows it's obvious. The truth is that girls can change the world because girls grow up to be educated mothers. The research is there. I've outlined some of it here. A child born to a literate mother is 50% more likely to live past the age of 5. If India, this is a good one, if India enrolled 1% more of its girls into secondary school, its GDP would rise by $5.5 billion annually. Educated mothers are twice as likely to send their own children to school. There's a lot more. An educated girl will marry later. She'll have fewer children. She'll stand up to abuse, and she'll be less likely to contract HIV and AIDS. She's more likely to start a business and invest in her family. In fact, statistics show that women invest 90% of their income back into their home, compared to 40% by men. She'll educate her sons and daughters equally. She'll become respected by her community, by men, boys, neighbors, family members. She'll start making decisions. She'll be part of the opinions that shape her family, her community, and eventually her nation. And she'll pass all of this on to her children, and she will break cycles of poverty. It all starts with us men. It really does. I can't tell you how many times I've met communities where men are the reason why women are stifled and why boys are stifled. And while the communities we work in, you could say, oh, maybe they don't relate as much to a place like France or USA because society is different. It all starts with trends. And so I truly believe, and I have this strong message to all men today, that if we can begin to learn to demonstrate our respect for women in our homes, in our workplaces, talk to our boys about them, talk to our peers about it, that will start a ripple effect that will have immense change around the entire world. This is how change starts. One person begins to share information, they teach others, others follow, they become role models. I truly believe that we're in the generation right now that has the chance to turn this world around. And I do think that millennial men have a special opportunity to do so. So I hope that everybody today will go home and share this message, whether you're a man or a woman, share it with your children, get involved, talk about it, open up doors, and include women in every decision. I think that we're in a moment in time where we can look back one day and we can say, oh yeah, I remember when it seemed less fair. Imagine in 30 years looking back now and saying, I remember that moment when I became an active participant in this time that unlocked a brighter future for girls, women, and then the entire world. I hope you join us. Thank you.